Hello, welcome to Always Yarn First. I'm Lindsay. I'm a knitter, crocheter, spinner coming to you from Central Arkansas. I work at Arkansas Yarn Co. and I am a virtual assistant. To stay updated on my latest yarn adventures, you can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome everybody. Today is Monday, September 1st. It is Labor Day here in the States, so I am at home and have the day off today. Before we get into the podcast, just a little bit of admin. I am a ambassador for Knit Picks. I do have a 15% off your purchase code below. And I am hosting a year-long make-along, Love My Stash Mal. It is held in my Ravelry under Always Yarn First. And because today is the 1st, I have picked an August winner. It is Mystery Sewer. So please contact me. You can either private message me on Ravelry or send me an email at AlwaysYarnFirst@gmail.com. And if you are in the US, I will send you a prize. If not, I will send you a pattern of your choice under $10 US. All right, so let's get right into it. This is episode 96. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you so much for giving this podcast a try. I update usually every 2 weeks, and I do a traditional podcast format. I name every episode a song title because before my love of yarn was my love of music, and I always find something to go along with my mood or making. And this week, I picked Let Go by Frou Frou. It's an older song, absolutely one of my all-time favorites. And I do have a Spotify playlist, which is linked below. You can follow every song that I've named every episode after. And let's get into the making. Shall we? All right. So in this episode, I will have a finished object. I will have cast on, whips, acquisitions. It is a goals episode because it is the 1st of the month, and I will talk a little bit of life chatter at the end. So let's start with finished objects. Okay, my first finished object is this beauty. This is the Moonstone by Beata Jezek. She is Hedgehog Fibers. And this is using Hedgehog Fibers yarn in super bulky, and it is also called Moonstone. I bought this yarn specifically to make this pattern, and this was the last podcast, this was my wheel project where I spun the wheel, picked up an old whip, and I realized how close I was. I was in this lace section, and I'm like, no, I just need to finish this and get this whip done. So I have, and I love it. It is a lovely sized over-the-shoulder shawl. In fact, I think I'm going to leave this in my truck. This will be my indoor shoulder shawl. So, love this project. Didn't love how bulky it was, but I'm very, very happy with the end result. Let me get a little closer. You can see the lace. It is a nice size. I think this took 2 skeins. Let me check. Let me see here. I did not write how many skeins I had, but I know I had at least 2 because I had gotten into the second one the last time. So I'm pretty sure this took 2 skeins of the super bulky, and it used US 15 10mm needles. I purchased this at Wool & Co. And then, of course, the pattern is free because all of the Hedgehog fiber patterns are free. So, love, love, love this one. All right, so I do have another finished objects kind of go together. But I will have to insert a picture because I left them at work. I will be, so this weekend, by the time this video goes up, I will be at the 3rd annual Arkansas Yarn Co. Weekend with Friends retreat. And I am teaching a class this year. I am teaching a beginner Tunisian crochet. So I wanted to make up a couple of dishcloths because we will be using cotton to make a dishcloth, something simple for it is beginner Tunisian crochet. And I wanted to make up a couple different samples to show off some different Tunisian crochet stitches. So I have made the simple stitch, which is where we're going to make for the class. And then I made a honeycomb stitch. And we'll see if I have time to make a third one. I would love to make a third one before class, but we'll see how time allows. But yes, I will insert those two dishcloths right here. And I just did those from a stitch dictionary. I did not use a pattern. I think I cast on 20 stitches. I may have cast on actually 18 for the simple stitch. I just kind of went till it looked right. And then I think the next one I'm like, I'm just going to do 20. So I think the simple stitch is 18 and the honeycomb is 20 stitches where I cast on. All right, so that is my finished objects. I do have one new cast on. I believe it's new. I'm apologizing now if it's not new. If you have seen this one. I think I'm going to talk about starting it. Okay, anyway, it is in my Della Q Arkansas Yarn Co. bag. We have these at the shop. And I took a skein from my stash and decided to play with a planned pooling. So this is just a pattern I'm making up. We'll see if I like it. And honestly, I think I need to go up a needle size. I might give this a steam block and see what it looks like, but go up a needle size. I'm currently using US 5's 3.75 millimeter, but I don't know what yarn this is. So I'll show you the cake first. It's so pretty. It's just like a little bit of rainbow. I got this at the give and take table at the Knitting McPurley retreat. I knew I wanted it for a planned pooling idea. So that's what I got. It did not have a tag. It was a full new skein, but no tag. So this is what I have so far. So I started at the bottom. Kind of my favorite type of shawl is like a crescent. So easy to work up with I-cord on the side. And I'm just kind of doing a little thing each time I come to the rainbow. Again, this is just, I'm playing with a pattern idea. Since this one will definitely be for me, I might give it an aggressive steam block, see how it looks, go up a needle size from here and keep going, see how it looks. And then if I make it a pattern, then I will knit another sample. Yeah, it's a bunch of ifs. It's just for me and I love it. I absolutely love the rainbow. I wish I knew whose yarn this was. It's very high twist and it just had the one little section of rainbow. When you had it in the skein, it was like all this kind of off-white grayish with a little bit of rainbow. So if any of you think you know what this yarn is, please tell me, because I would love to know. It is perfect for what I wanted. So yeah, more to come on this. We'll see how this progresses. And even the little stitch thing I do, I don't even have it written down. It's just, I think it's really easy and does not take brain power to do it. So I love me some projects like that. So to be continued on how this progresses. It may be farther along next time, or it may be ripped out and restarted. We'll see how it goes. Okay, that is my only new cast on. So let's get into whips. All right, I have quite a few whips this time. I'm kind of back to my usual knitting all over the place. So let's start talking about my socks for August. This is in my favorite sock bag. This is Trappings and Trinkets. So let's start with the sock on my needle. So yes, it's September. You'll see I did not get my socks done. So this is still the first sock. I just did it as like a tube. I have marked for afterthought heel. I was not feeling this yarn for me, so I was very unmotivated to work on it. Then, as I was unmotivated, and I was spending a lot of time on my cardigan, which we'll see next. I was spending a lot of time on my test cardigan, and I'm like, I'm really enjoying that. Don't want to do these, but I've come so far with the knit along this year. And then, as this was going on, I had heard that this is Night Owl Fibers yarn. This is the Phoenix, by the way, this colorway. And we had heard then that Rachel of Night Owl Fibers had refunded people who have ordered her sock advent for the year, just from other people. And I'm like, that's interesting. Then further along, one of our friends has told us that she had gotten an email from Rachel that basically said that she was going on a sabbatical. Thank you for 10 years of supporting her. And all orders were sent out or refunded. So we don't know what that means. And I wish her the best because we love Rachel and her mom, Brenda. And hope everything is well. But sabbatical, whether it's short term, long term, she was also ending the sock make along early. So at that point, I did not care about finishing this. I'm like, okay, doesn't matter. There's not a sock make along anymore. I mean, I had gotten a few months worth of coupons and got some yarn from her, so it's all good. All the orders I had ordered from her were fulfilled. So much love to Rachel and to Brenda if you're watching, and I hope that everything is well with you. But again, because I was not motivated to knit this colorway, this was not my color vibe, and I was going to knit this for a friend. So I decided to, make a tube out of it at work. So this is the rest of the skein that I had left, and I just made a big old tube. So did not finish these socks for the month, but I will still make these for my friend, and if nothing else, I will just make them from this, an afterthought everything them. So this is the Phoenix. Now, knowing that she is on sabbatical, we still do have some Night Owl Fibers yarn in stock. However, when whatever customers got that email, she had let them know of what wholesalers were carrying her yarn. And so she had notified people that we carried her yarn. We have sold out of a lot of things. A lot. We still do have this color. So if this is your color vibe, we still do have a couple of these left as of Monday, but this will go up Friday. So we'll see. But if you want any Night Owl Fiber, I would suggest you find what colors you were wanting now while you can. So that is the scoop on that. That ends my year-long sock make-along for Night Owl Fibers. I do have a lot of skeins, and as soon as I heard that she was going on sabbatical, of course I went to our stash at work and I picked out the few remaining skeins that I wanted that I didn't have, including the Arkansas Yarn Co. colorway that she had made for us based on our logo. I had not purchased that one yet, so I had to grab one of those too. So I will continue to knit socks, but they won't be on my make-along for every month. But I always like to have a sock on the needle, so we'll see how the sock mojo goes from here on out. All right, so let's talk about my exciting cardigan. And we'll talk both about, this obviously, and this in my monthly goals. Because if you've been here, both of these were on my goals. So spoiler alert, my goal for this project, which is a test knit due the end of September, my goal was to have the body completely done. And I did. I have the body done. And I have the first sleeve done. So I'm going to get a close-up of the back so you can see the texture of this patterning. This is from Trysten, Dragon Horde Fibers. Look at that. I love this cardigan. This colorway is Arkansas Yarn Co. in the Yummy Worsted Weight, and it is called Out to Sea. So I have one sleeve left, and then I have the button band and big old shawl collar. I think I will be able to get that done. I think for the retreat, I may try to do the shawl collar next before the sleeves. The sleeves aren't hard, but they're a little annoying. I'm trying to think of what I want to take for the retreat. And, I'll be working the retreat. The retreat is very relaxing, very fun. We'll get into that life talk, but I am technically working it. So I don't have as much knitting time as like just an attendee does. And I want to have something simple-ish. So I might try to cast on and have Jessa help me. I haven't looked into the shawl collar. So I might cast that on and then have that because I think it's just a bunch of short rows. So I might look into that the next couple days, and then I would take this and work on that at the retreat. I think that might be a good idea, and then just finish with the last sleeve. I love this so much. And I don't have it attached to yarn right now because I finished the sleeve. So I modified to where the sleeve was going to. I don't like my sleeves super long. Like if I'm washing my hands or whatever like that, I don't want my sleeves to be wet. So I purposely stop them here. But the sleeves are fitted, but they're not tight. They feel very comfortable. I love it so much. Yeah. So I pretty much did the decreases and started my ribbing, and then I did only 2 inches of ribbing. I think it called for 2.5, and I was completely happy. Both for the sleeve and the body. My friend Andrea, she had already finished her cardigan, and she did the, what is it? The tubular bind off. I don't know why I had to look it up. I could not think of the name of it. So the tubular bind off, and it looks really nice. Let's see if you can see it here. It's nice and even. It's lovely. So I'm very, very, very happy with it. And I'm happy that I am staying on target for that goal. Again, this is the Winter Court Cardi by Trysten, and I think it's going to be out by the end of September. We have till the end of September to finish it, but I think it's also going to be released. A lot of people have already completed theirs, so this is a good one. This is a in your wardrobe perfect piece to have. All right, I still have 3 more projects. So this one was on my wheel for whips, but this seems to be lately my go-to for non-thinking knitting. This is in a string crazy bag. And I'm in the middle of a row. Womp, womp, womp. That's right. This is the Looks Like Nothing. It is the Half and Half Triangles Wrap by Purl Soho. I finished 1 ball of coastal cotton. I'm on my 2nd one of navy. So here is where my short rows are. This is a free pattern. And you just basically are making a big old triangle. So every time I get to this, I short row and then knit across, knit back, one closer, short row, so on, so on, so on. So don't even have to look at, could do this during a theater movie. So this one has got a lot of work on lately. Just this last week has been not bad. I got to do some fun things, but it's just been busy, which I'll talk about in life. But I think that's why I've just kind of gravitated toward this one. I worked on the sweater, got to that certain point, and then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to take this. This is like perfect social knitting. So yeah, not much to see here. I'm kind of glad that I chose the first color to be the tonal color, because then my other one is speckled. So at least when I finish this and go to the second color, it will be more interesting to look at. But this is essentially going to be a baby blanket because it'll be a square. But I do love it. It is coastal cotton in the colorway. It's coastal cotton fine. It takes 2 skeins or 2 balls of each, and I use the colorway navy. Okay, so a couple newish, well, not new, but you haven't seen in a while, let me put it that way, that I've pulled out recently. Let's see, this one first. This is in a bag by Kelly E. McD. And this is the Textured Shawl Sock Yarn Scarf. This is a free pattern by my friend Christine. She is known as Treasure Goddess, has a yarn dyeing business out of Kansas City. And this is a pattern I used quite a while ago for the beginner lace. This pattern actually comes two different pattern ways to do it. I am doing the garter, which is you're knitting on both sides, or you can do the version where you're knitting on one side, purling on the other, and of course then having the shawl pattern. So there's the shawl pattern. I am using, this was also Deep Stash. This is Emma's Yarn, Perfect Sock Base, and Saltwater Taffy. Just kind of, again, some like creamy off-white gray with bits of blue and pink, just lightly speckled in there. And again, this is kind of a mindless project. I recently picked this up, but you can see it goes very fast. Because it's a free pattern, I'm not giving anything away. It's knit 3 rows, and then 1 row is the textured shawl pattern, which is memorizable. It's so easy. So again, this is a nice one. I hope to get this whip off my needles. I still have a ways to go, but it's pretty, and I love the yarn. It's very subtle. All right, I have one more project, and it is crochet. All right, so the last one I've worked on is in this bag. My happy little yarn tag is coming off here. Cute little bag by Amy. And this is Mrs. Fezziwig. It is a crocheted Advent scarf. It's by Dawn Barker. And which side's the right side? I'm using my Wonka Advent from last year from Arkansas Yarn Co. And you can see where I was here. I've added a few colors in. So I am just doing 2 rows of each color, and then I'm just going to go on and on and on. I have my Advent in here. So I have 2 color. I have obviously the yellow I'm working on now. The Wonka was every other color was tonal. And so I have the next one in my bag here. I have the sparkle base. So you can see which ones I have not wound up yet, which I haven't used. But then I'll just go over and over again until it gets to the length I want. This is very easy. It's 2 different rows. The thing that makes it a little bit different than just like a granny stripe is you do these spiked stitches. The first row of color, you can see they go down into the other stitches below. So it's fun. It's kind of nice to have a crochet project close by. And that is all my works in progress. So I will mention spinning just quickly. I'm not going to show it. I'm still spinning on what I have been the last few podcasts. I did start a new bobbin, but it's literally the same thing, so I'm not going to show it till I finish that bobbin. So next we have acquisitions. Okay, acquisitions. There was something I received that I did not purchase, but I received before the last podcast, and I forgot to show it. So I'm going to show that first. This was a gift I received from a customer of the shop, a friend of ours, and she will be at the retreat this weekend, Miss Nan. She made one for each of us at the yarn shop in different colors, of course, to represent us. So how sweet is that? Thank you so much, Nan, and I'm sorry I forgot to show it last time. So now I can actually use it. Okay, I have 2 purchases. One is last month's Knitty McPurley Club. And I'm sorry, everything is in the crinkle paper because I haven't gotten it out. But this is September's, I'm sorry. This says September, but I'm pretty sure it's August. Today's the 1st of September. Anyways, this is all year long. She's picking out patterns from the sock project and dyeing up the exact yarn you need for that. And then, of course, it comes with the cutest little sock stitch marker, which is in like the patterning of the sock pattern. So that's from Knitty McPurley. And then the one thing I purchased, I had, being on Trysten's test knit, she gives all of her testers a coupon code. A lot of times people will use it to buy yarn for the test, but you can use it on whatever. It's a one-time code. And I decided to buy fiber from Trysten. So I got 3 different things. This I got 2 of. That is Corriedale Cross in the colorway Pearlescent. So 2 of those. And then I got 2 of these, and she threw in some cute little stitch markers. This is Targhee Comb Top, Selkies, and Kelpies. Again, I think I loved these because Trysten is very usually dark and moody color, jewel tones, things like that. And which I like some of those colors, but I'm more of a light, bright, neon. But these are very much up my alley. So I decided to get both of those. And then I did get one more dark and moody. I just got one of this because that's all there was. And this is a Cheviot comb top, and it's called Curse of Arachne. And I was told that Cheviot is really good for making socks. So this is the only one I have a plan for. I hope to spin this and knit socks with it. I would really love to do that. So this was very dark, moody, purpley, which again, purple is usually not my favorite, but I like this one with the different tones. Yeah, so that is what I have purchased. All right, let's talk goals, and then we will get into a little bit of live chat. And so that is all the making and acquisitions I have. So if you are just here for the Yarny making talk, then thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time. If not, let's continue into goals. All right, so goals for August. Let me bring up my page here. Okay, I had 3 FOs for August, 5 cast-ons. I had 5 skeins of yarn in, which made my year total to 69, and 5 skeins of yarn out, which makes my total 46. My goals for the month were my Night Owl socks, which you heard me talk about those. Finish the body of my test knit, which yay, I did. And finish my current spin, which I did not. I did get a bit of spinning done. I filled about a half a bobbin, but there's still quite a bit of that fiber left. So I did not finish those goals. So I didn't even write down September goals yet. It's difficult because Night Owl fiber socks will not be on there as a goal. So obviously I need to finish my test knit. That is goal number 1, priority number 1. I would like to finish another whip, like from my spinning little wheel app. I don't know which one it is. So I will make that an official goal, but I'll have to go through and see which ones that I feel I could do, because it is also going to be a busy month again. But I'd like to finish an older whip for this month. It was really nice to get that moonstone off my needles. It was very, very nice. So I would like to finish another whip. I don't need to finish them all. I'm happy with a lot of whips, but it is nice when you get an old whip off your needles or your hooks, just to know that you still wanted it and accomplish that goal. So I don't know what that will be. I want to spend more time spinning too, but I feel again like that I don't want a hard and fast rule on it. I almost think, so if you follow me on Instagram, I do Sunday spins where I post in my stories different vinyls I'm listening to. It's kind of a play on vinyls and spinning. So maybe what I'll do for that goal is make it a goal every Sunday to do some spinning. So that's a doable goal where every Sunday I am spending some time doing spinning, which I think that's totally doable. Yeah. All right. So that is all of my goals. Let's get into a tiny bit of live chat. All right. So live chat. Last week was actually the week I should have a podcast. My day off was Tuesday because Anna and Lori were off other days. So Jess and I kind of took different days off, what we could. And I had so much work for my virtual assistant business that I was also going to podcast that day. And I did so much work and I had felt so accomplished, and I got done with my work day and I'm like, oh, I got everything done. This is awesome. And then I realized, oh wait, I did not podcast. And usually I put up my podcast on Friday mornings, and I thought, well, I can still podcast one day after work. No, I couldn't, because here's how the rest of my week went. Tuesday I had off, and then Wednesday I went to work, and then from work, Anna and I went to a concert. We drove about an hour and a half. And we went and saw Train and Edwin McCain. It was a great concert, but it was like driving through the back roads of Arkansas. It was in El Dorado, Arkansas, which I had never been to. We got there about 6:30, and their downtown was adorable. If I ever go back there again, I want to go where I can spend some time downtown because it was so cute. We ate at a restaurant, was delicious. there, you just parked on the street because the venue wasn't even huge. It was an outdoor amphitheater, but it was like fake grass. So we just got general admission. We just sat on there. There wasn't really bugs. The weather was absolutely perfect. It was a great experience. Total fun time. I am not used to staying up early. Like you guys know that I'm an early bird. So I drove home because I'm the one that drove us there. Back roads. Deer were all along these back roads, and like no one else was on the road. I was so paranoid I was going to hit a deer the whole way home. And I did not, thankfully. It was smooth sailing, but I was very paranoid. We got back to the shop about 12:30 a.m. And so I got home about 1 a.m. Thursday morning from the concert. Good time. Again, then Anna was on vacation. Lori was already on vacation. And that Thursday, we had mentioned at the shop that we were going to start the last Thursday of each month going down to the end of the block. Coffee Records has their evening business called 1943 by Coffee Records. And they do trivia night on Thursdays. So because Thursdays is usually our knit night, we decided the last Thursday of every month, we're going to go to trivia. So we did that. I felt bad that Jessa was going to go by herself because usually I just work till 5 and I go home while her and Lori stay for knit night. I usually don't stay for knit night. And I felt bad that Jess was by herself. So I'm like, okay, I'll go to trivia. I said, but is there any way you care if I can come in late? Because I'm going to need to sleep. So that was fine. I went into work at noon, which was great. So I then worked till we closed up about 6:45, walked down, did trivia, and we won. It was unbelievable. We had a great team. There was 5 of us. It was super, super fun. And we actually tied for first at the end. And then we each had to answer a question, and whoever got closest to the correct answer won. The question none of us knew. The question was, how tall from base to tip is the Statue of Liberty? Do any of you know? It is 305 feet tall. We guessed 350, and the other team guessed 1,100 something. So we won, which was super awesome. I was like, oh, we're screwed. We don't know what it is. It was super fun. We won a cash prize. We basically each walked away with $5. So that was super cool. We ate dinner while we were down there. It was a nice time, even though I was dead tired. So Friday, went to work as usual. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Jessa and I are doing a lot of things to get ready for the retreat because today, Monday, we're off. All 4 of us will be there the next 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then it's the retreat. So we needed to have most of the things done. And we also put together Sock Yarn Society subscriptions by ourselves so those could go out the door. Since today is the 1st and it's a holiday, those went out the door the past Saturday. And so we were super busy, especially Friday. We were just trying to get everything done. And I was trying to make sure, because sometimes when you're working hard on a project, it gets messy. Like it was just kind of a mess on all of the tables. And I didn't want Lori to come home and come into work and be like, why is the store trashed? So I was working on also trying to get it picked up where she was going to see that we got a lot of work done, but also that everything was neat and tidy. And then Saturday, work again, and we were quite busy. There was a lot of people in the shop crafting with us, which is always lovely. But yeah, very busy. Very busy week, crazy week. Got to do fun things, very tired. So I knew the only time I could podcast last week was Friday after work. But after Wednesday and Thursday, getting home later, I needed a night to not do anything. So I pretty much vegged on my couch and watched movies. because I was just, nope, I need a day, because Saturday I worked and then was invited to a friend's house for a board game, and I committed to doing that. And then yesterday, Sunday, my daughter came over, which I'm always excited about. But again, it's just a lot of things. And I am an introvert who likes days planned at home where I don't have to get anything done besides general housework or whatever. So Friday night, I took to myself and I'm like, you know what? I have Monday off. I'm going to push the podcast back a week and just podcast Monday. So that's what I did. And the other one life thing I have, so you'll notice I have my pillow here again. I have this little finger sleeve, I think they call. I woke up. I have been curious if I have arthritis, because especially this finger, I'll have pain here occasionally. And I've worn this before where I'll have pain and I put on this like little compression sleeve and it seems to make it better. Of course, I also have like a little wrist wrap, and this tends to help with if I have wrist pain, because I'm making sure that my posture is correct with my arms. So that's why I'm using this. But 2 nights ago, I woke up in the middle of the night and these 2 fingers were hurting so bad, like arthritis pain, like so bad. Like I was trying to stretch them out. I was trying to rub them. It was ridiculous. I have never woke up in the middle of the night from this. So I have my yearly doctor appointment coming up next month, and I'm going to talk to her about it. I really don't know if anything can even be done. If it is arthritis, just basically her confirming it. But then I've also had pain like right here. And I have not, even though, yes, you saw a lot of projects, I've been working on them little bits at a time. I was not able to take my knitting into the concert, and I drove, so I don't think I like knit except for that morning before work. I have not been crazy knitting and crocheting. Like, I don't think the pain has anything to do with that. But the last 2 days, I have like a electronic hand massager thing. I've had to use that. Yesterday, when my daughter was over, I was in pain. Like, I had the wrist thing on, I had the finger sleeve on, I have some like arthritis lotion with like essential oils in it. It was bad yesterday. So the last 2 days I've been dealing with that. Today it's a little better. I slept with this on because I thought, well, maybe it's some kind of weird way I'm sleeping. Like if I'm sleeping on my wrist. My wrist specifically was the worst yesterday. So if y'all have any ideas or comments or what that is, I don't know, but it came out of nowhere with a vengeance. Like I said, today has been tolerable. I mean, I still have a little bit of pain. Like I said, I'm used to occasionally having the pain, but not that extreme. So this was a whole new world of pain for me. So not fun. But the last thing is, of course, this weekend is the retreat. We're looking forward to it. As always, we go to Lake DeGray Resort in Arkansas. This year, we actually have a bunch of people who this will be their first time, which is exciting. We will miss those that have been regular the last 2 years. The last 2 years pretty much has been the exact same people, minus like a couple of newer people last year. Because of circumstances, the originals couldn't make it. But this year we actually have quite a bit of newer people. Some that we met from the Knitting McPurley retreat, purchased our retreat. So I'm really excited. I have my game night that I'm doing. I have it all ready. We're playing Let's Make a Deal and trivia. Plus we're doing a music bingo. And I'm teaching Tunisian crochet. So it will be a busy weekend. I mean, it definitely is a lot of work for us that are from the store, but it is always enjoyable. And we just have lovely conversations. We keep it at 50 people, including us, because that we feel is the maximum amount of people where we can actually get around and talk to people. So it's going to be a fun weekend. And I think the weather's going to be lovely. So yeah. That was a lot more life stuff than I thought I had. So Thank you so much for being here. If you watched all the way to the end, I appreciate you so much. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I love interacting with you, and maybe some of you will be watching this as a retreat, and I'll get to hang out with you. I'm excited to see you all. And I will see you again, hopefully, in 2 weeks. Bye.